In a world dominated by Roman rule, where emperors claimed divine titles and Jewish people longed for deliverance, a carpenter's son from Nazareth began his public ministry. Around 30 AD, Jesus of Nazareth stepped onto the stage of history, not with armies or palaces, but with 12 ordinary disciples and a message of God's kingdom. For about 3 years, Jesus traveled through Galilee, Judea, and beyond. He healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, raised the dead, and preached good news to the poor. Crowds marveled at his authority. He speaks as one who has authority, not as the teachers of the law. His parables used everyday stories, seeds, vineyards, coins, to unveil eternal truths. He challenged the hypocrisy of religious leaders while welcoming tax collectors, sinners, and outcasts. But his growing influence drew fierce opposition. The religious elite saw him as a threat, and Rome saw him as a potential rebel. In 33 AD, he was betrayed, arrested, and condemned to death by crucifixion, a punishment reserved for the worst criminals. To his followers, it seemed like the end. Yet in God's plan, it was the turning point of history. On the cross, Jesus bore the sins of the world. 3 days later, his tomb was empty. Eyewitnesses proclaimed he had risen, defeating sin and death. The resurrection became the cornerstone of the Christian faith, transforming frightened disciples into bold witnesses. From Jerusalem, the gospel spread across the Roman world, carried by men and women willing to lay down their lives for the risen Christ. The years 30-33 AD may have looked like just another chapter in Rome's history, but in reality, they marked the pivot of eternity. Kings and empires have risen and fallen, but the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus continue to shape billions of lives today. Jesus asked his disciples then, and he asks us now, "Who do you say I am?" Your answer to that question is the most important decision of your life.